Hello and welcome to Pirate TV's postgame coverage of the Big East Championship game. I'm Liam Play alongside Christian Gardner. Now, the number 3 seeded Seton Hall Pirates fell today to the number 1 seed Villanova Wildcats by a score of 74-72. It was a very tough game and tight game all throughout. Now, Christian, that first half, what did you see?
Really a great defensive effort for the Pirates. Low score, only 28 points for a pretty good Villanova team. Phil Booth, only 1 point, back-to-back games for Quincy McKnight, slowing down a star point guard to only 1 point in one half. But really, the play of Eric Pascal was out of this world. He was just taking the lane at will. The interior defense for the Pirates was not matching to that great Pascal offense. 11 points for that big man. It was a great night for him.
Yeah, Pascal, a very versatile player. Can do it all over the court. You see him underneath. He's making threes up front, too. And the Pirates did start out slow, like you said, but it was pretty much neck and neck the whole entire half. And like you said, a two-point deficit for the Pirates at halftime, 28-26, the Wildcats leading. But then that second half came, and the Pirates came out firing, right?
Oh, for sure. Miles Powell, only 6 points in that first half. You know he was going to get it going. We talked in the pregame, over under 25. He came out firing, and he got that 25 points. But, man, we have to talk about the play of Anthony Nelson. He came in for Quincy McKnight. Coach Willard decided to go with Anthony Nelson, and he played a fantastic game. Some of his best basketball this entire season. He was picking Phil Booth's pocket. This man's a freshman. Like, what is he doing? I couldn't believe the play. He was getting to the basket at will. Just great play by Anthony Nelson, but it came up short in the end.
Yeah, Anthony Nelson, 12 points in the whole game in just 16 minutes, too. I mean, he wasn't playing big minutes either. He was in for Quincy McKnight, and he stepped up big, and Quincy McKnight only had 4 points all night. So I think it really helped the Pirates out, even in a losing effort. But they were not in this game without Anthony Nelson there. Another player, Miles Cale, 10 points. What did you see from Miles Cale? He wasn't strong shooting last night, but he kind of got his groove back, right?
Got a little bit of a groove back. He hit a couple threes, and there is a lot of open shots that he had. And maybe if some of those threes fall, it could have been a different game. But it's been a great season for Miles Cale, really stepping up from really a bench reserve role from last year and being a really big starter for this team. And defensively, he was guarding Pascal in that second half. That's a big dude to guard for a 6'6" Miles Cale. But he was up for the challenge and slowed down Pascal in that second half a little bit.
Yeah, Miles Cale did a great job. I mean, Pascal finished with 17 points. He had 6 points in the second half with Miles Cale on him. Not taking anything away from who guarded him guarded Pascal in the first half. Michael Enzi, great game by Enzi. But Miles Cale, he had that fire in his eye. He was ready to go. He wanted this game. But speaking of game changers, like you said, how about Kevin Willard getting a technical foul? How did that change the game?
It gave you flashbacks to Marquette on Friday night. And, oh, man, if you think about it, it could have been the difference for that team. But it kept people locked. It wasn't as fiery as it was last night. People were in a calm mood, and it didn't overtake the game as it did on Friday night. So it wasn't a game-breaking play, but wish you could have it back.
Yeah, definitely Phil Booth nailing both of those free throws, putting the Pirates, the Wildcats up too. But yeah, speaking of their emotions, each Seton Hall player was well in control of their emotions. The complete opposite of what we saw last night. Big kudos to Mamu Kalashvili. We saw it. You could tell a few times he wanted to go out at some Villanova players, but he held it back just for the sake of his team.
I mean, Mamu had a great night for himself. A double-double, I believe. He had a lot of open shots as well, but he was getting it done on defense as well. I believe 10 or 11 rebounds. It's just a great night for that big man. And talk about development. I mean, didn't play as much last year with Angel Delgado here, but a great sophomore season, and he's just going to grow from here.
Yeah, and then to talk about Villanova a bit more, they are a very well-balanced team. I mean, you talk about Phil Booth, you talk about Eric Pascal, but then you got guys like Sadiq Bey dropping 16 on the Pirates, and then you have Jermaine Samuels also getting in the action with 12 points. I mean, what could Seton Hall have done better to limit this very well-balanced Villanova team?
Definitely could have gone bigger on interior defense. I believe Villanova was attacking. They've been a weak point for this team throughout the season. You talk about the guard play of Miles Power, Quincy McKnight, and Anthony Nelson this night, but it's been a struggle for this team, and Villanova really attacked it. And even when they were able to help with Romero Gill coming in, getting some good blocks, I believe 4 blocks in that first half for the Seton Hall Pirates, they can still score outside, as he said, with Phil Booth, and they can shoot. They can shoot. I mean, the 3-ball was on lock for them.
Yeah, and then one other thing that did not help the Pirates, Michael Enzi and Romero Gill both fouling out in the second half. I mean, that left it wide open for Eric Pascal to continue his ways, but like you said, Miles Kell did a great job, but then Sadiq Bey stepped up. Jermaine Samuel stepped up. I mean, this is just a Villanova team that you can't really stop with if you're getting guys fouled out and everything. But Mamu stepped up too big, getting that double-double like you said. But really, just a well-fought game for a Seton Hall team that wasn't even supposed to be here. I mean, projected 8th in the preseason polls, and then they get the number 3 seed. But then in the adversity they faced in that Marquette game on Friday night, really well put out for it.
I mean, this Seton Hall team, as you said, was not supposed to be here. I'm so proud of this team, of where they came from, losing 4 seniors and still being able to be a competitive team, not just competitive, on the cusp of winning a Big East championship. They were 2 points away from a Big East championship. I'm so proud of this team, and I know that they'll be back at this point, and I know that it won't be the sad result as it is tonight. And I know that they will come home with a Big East championship one of these days. One of these days. Miles Powell is just a phenomenal player, and the development of players coming along. Anthony Nelson, you talk about his play. That is the future. That's the future, and it's going to be a great couple years for this team.
Yeah, talking about the future, Michael Enzi, the only senior on this team, they will miss him dearly next year. What a big help, to start out the game. But talk about the development. Look at the difference between Anthony Nelson from the start of the season to now. I would not think that he'd be dropping 12 points on Villanova in the Big East championship game when I first saw him play. But they have a really bright future, and this is not the end for them this season. They will find out on Sunday where they land in the field of 68 and who they will play and what region they end up in, how far they'll go in the NCAA tournament. Now, Christian, any predictions on what seed they'll get or where they'll land?
Ooh, I mean, it could be as high as 7 or 6 or as low as 10. I'm going to go with a solid 8 or 9 seed. But, I mean, you talked about where this team was. 2 weeks ago, we both believed this team was dead in the water. And now they're on the cusp of possibly being a 7-6 seed. It's just great. Seton Hall basketball is on the way.
Yeah, I think the Pirates will be an 8 seed in the tournament. But this is one of the hottest teams in the country right now, especially with this incredible run in the Big East tournament. But we'll find out tomorrow where they end up. So, again, the Seton Hall Pirates losing to the Villanova Wildcats 74-72. For Christian Gardner, I'm Liam Plate. Thank you for watching our coverage throughout the entire tournament, and have a great night.